So yeah, and I would say, I don't know, work around it, or just submit an interlibrary loan. Because a lot of them turn out to be just interlibrary loans anyway. Have you had that experience? You go through this whole frustrating process. Now, let's go into databases and just we'll kind of do things in a little different sequence than I had thought of, but that's okay. Let's go to W, letter W up here, and we'll just go in. But that's the location of the other WorldCat. But that's not a database that's going to search, do a computer lit kind of search. The first WorldCat is one where you can do a computer lit search. And maybe if you go in there and do a search on a topic, it's okay, but then the results can be this kind of pain in the neck. This WorldCat here is more like the old traditional catalog. So when I was working on my research project, I had 4 journals of psych nursing. And we had 2 on campus, and I went into WorldCat and I looked up locations. One specialty journal was at Holyoke Community College, and the other journal was electronic, I think, or it was at UMass Worcester. So I went down to HCC, I photocopied the pages I needed, came back, I went to UMass Worcester, I went into the electronic databases, I had to get a U-card and then print out and get everything there done in a kind of an electronic copy format. So then I could work on my sheets and my data gathering, collecting. So this is just more like a traditional catalog. So with the material that Joan had provided, when I went in here, I found what I wanted just like that. It was like the first choice. I just wanted to know, it was like a double check. Do we have the book here on campus? Where is it? And so forth and so on. And it was several places on the, okay.
When you're looking for that classic thing that you can't find someplace else, this is a
you could do that, yes. This is a catalog, and so this is in the databases, this WorldCat. The other one is more like a search engine, but it does have those frustrations. So if we back out one more, we may not get everything covered, but maybe we will. We're okay. If back out, we want to get back out to the A, B, C, D, Z level in the databases, because we're going to cover, that's all right, and then one more. And then we're going to click on the letter U. I should say Joan is going to click on the letter U. I wish there were more people here, you know, so there's more give and take about stuff. But we could do another physical one of these again if it's suitable. So if you click on the U, and then we go into ORIC's Global Serials Directory. I just want to use an example that I can remember so I don't have to think of specialty areas. So let's go in and let's hope, okay, type in the search box CELL, okay? And then I think, yeah, let's see what happens. I've had trouble because the format of this has changed from what I was last used to.
Came up with 582 hits.
Really? Do we have some search results farther down? Or it's maybe...
Do you want to hook up my laptop over there? I don't think it's going to... Because this is what's slowing us down.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
All right, let's choose the first one here. So I think if you click on the box, the little box, just click on that box, and then I think you can scroll down, and then I think there's a place you can do search. Is that right? Or view details. I'm sorry. See, this has changed enough that I don't use this enough. I tend to be standing in a class and saying, "Oh yeah, how do we do this?" What do we say? No, I don't know. Why don't we just?
Yes.
All right. Let's hope it works. All right. So now scroll down. And scroll down. So let's see. You see what we have here? Tells us it's refereed. Okay?
What does refereed mean?
Peer-reviewed or juried. Okay? Now, if you go down to online availability and click that, we're just going to cover 2 things. This is a journal called Cell. It might be something that Priscilla Clarkson uses. So you can scroll farther down And you can see these are various databases that cover this journal. We could have done a nursing one, but this is one I can remember, and I don't. If we just back up a little, Joan, we have National Library of Medicine, PubMed. So if you had a title, or your students had a title, you could go in and say, it's not peer-reviewed. I don't want to include it in what I'm doing, or I don't want them, or maybe you get a title and you look at it and think, you might want to tell them. But this has a whole panoply of information. It's refereed, order information, editorial information, if you want to submit materials, blah, blah, blah. We won't get into all those details, but this is shorthand Ulrichs in the use section of the databases. All right? So let's back out to the general page. I want to flag something else, and so that's okay. Thank you so much for doing this, Joan.
This is where I get to say, hi, Shirley, again.
Okay. Now now we want to, over here, connection problems. Have you all used connection problems? And that's useful for your distance learners, your RN to BS. But let's hope that link comes up, because what you get in here that I really want to flag for you is this DB help. Let's not click on it, but you can, and an email crops up. All right? Have any of you used DB help? Okay, DB help. When you're in an electronic database, an electronic journal, an ebook, and it doesn't seem to be working the way you think it was. Like last night, we got something, we had a link, it looked like it was bona fide, we couldn't get a response. And because the person had her deadline, we had to move on. But if it's something crucial to you, and you think you should be able to get it electronically, now you should always go into PubMed, for instance, through the campus. Don't go in separately. Everything you and your students do, go through the campus so the IPs are identified as UMass IPs, because if we have arrangements, for instance, with PubMed, we have extra arrangements of material and links that are in PubMed that, as I say to the students, your grandmothers can't get access to. So you always want to go in there, and then you get the advantage of the links. So the national database might have no free text, but because we have an arrangement of some kind, there might be a free text link for us. So that's why always, all the databases, we have, that what was alluded to before in that other tutorial, we have the open internet, but then the hidden internet is what people are paying for on some level. So you have more material that isn't out in the general internet. May have more of a focus, scientific focus, whereas maybe Google doesn't have. So you always want to encourage, or whenever you're doing work, if you have this access. But if you're in the database like we were last night and we didn't get results, we could have said, well, we were doing the search in blah blah database on such and such topic. We got up to this reference, and the hard part is taking and making the time to write up that message. The list is monitored from Sunday to Friday, more or less work hours. Obviously, Sunday it's not going to work as much, but sometimes the server is off. That's all they need to do. They go to the vendor fixes the server. They'll write back to you and tell you it's available now. Or they might write back and say, this is out of commission for a week, and we've seen things like that. So then you can go on, and if you do an interlibrary loan or something, then you have to sometime qualify that and say, the database is down for a week. I need an interlibrary loan. Don't tell me I have access here through the campus, because it's not available.
Okay. I have a question.
Yes.
Last week I was looking for an instrument, and so I had to end up going to the National Cancer Institute. And so then I had to go into the journal for it, but then a cost came up. So I backed out, went through PubMed, and the cost still came up. So I guess
then you do interlibrary loan, and if you have your interlibrary loan account all set up, so when you're in there, then you should just try to see if you can choose that as an option to do an interlibrary loan, if that's given as an option. And I'm not sure what you do when you have choices that are unobtainable. That I can't tell. I haven't had that crop up as a personal example. Okay? So anyway, now you know about DB Help. All right. So let's go on and let's see, we've talked about